Good afternoon. We are glad you're here with us. I'm Mark Munger, live in Studio A. Am I not on mic? Oh, I am on mic somewhere. We're going to figure this out eventually. It's my fault. We're working on it. Anyway, we're live in Studio A. I have Steve Marr here and Vandy Langton from the Old Factory, Live at the Old Factory series. And then they brought with them the band The Ruralists. I haven't actually, we've been running around so much I haven't had a chance to really meet. Would you guys introduce yourselves and tell us who you are?
Yeah, sure. My name is Luke Cawley, and this is the radio, so you can't see who everybody else is, but there's a couple of guitar players, Ben Laffenga and Remy DeVries, and Jake Miller plays the bass, and Titus Landegent plays the drums, and we come from Sioux Center.
Sioux Center. Up north, in the North Country.
Yeah.
Yes. How are you guys going to be performing? Have you performed at the Old Factory before?
We're going to be there this Saturday
Yeah.
night.
Saturday night.
Saturday Night Live at the Old Factory. Well, we've been privileged to get to air the Live at the Old Factory series on School on Public Media. Actually, we're in the middle of the series of last season. We've heard Devin Cadwell's concert. We've heard Maxilla Blue perform last night. It's been so much fun. And Bonnie Finken was on. Such diverse music and all Iowa artists. It's a really great series. We're so proud to be partnering with you on that. So thank you. And we're working on putting together another season of Live at the Old Factory. So
Yeah, we're hoping.
it's tremendously exciting.
In the chaos phase right now, but it will come out structured.
It is coming together.
Everything starts in the chaos phase.
Yeah.
That's it's fertile ground. Well, maybe we should just go to a song, The Rose. We'll just go right to the music. Let's not mess around. But first, let me give you the numbers. It's 276-3690 or 1-800-251-3690. Call and make a pledge.
This song's called Black and Achromatic.
All right. Thank you very much. That was, what was the name of that track, that song?
It's called Black and Achromatic.
Black and Achromatic from the Ruralists.
That's right.
Ventured in from the North Country, the Northwest Iowa.
Fair, the North Country Fair.
Yes. So tell me about how you guys came together and what's the story behind it?
Yeah, I mean, one of the great things about living in a small town is you sort of take the best available options, which was an early option for a band name. Ben and I teach together at Door College, and we hang out all the time at Laramie's Fruiter Plain Cafe, which is a place that everybody should visit. And Titus is a kindergarten teacher who teaches my son drums, and Jake is 10 years younger than any of us, but we knew he was around, and that was about that. So, you know, I mean, I don't know, we got the urge and came together and see what would come out of it.
That sounds great. It was a good urge to follow through.
Hey, thank you.
How long have you been playing together then?
I think 7 weeks.
7 weeks, that's
Yeah.
it? Oh,
So-
you're in nascent here. So much more to
Chaos
happen.
phase, right?
It's the chaos phase of your band.
Sounds fantastic.
Yeah. So it sounds so good. So what's it like being in a band in that part of the world? Do you get a lot of feedback? Are there a lot of places you can go out and play?
Yeah, I mean, not a ton. The nice thing is that Laramie owns the Fruit Plain Cafe, and so we can play there whenever we want to, whenever we think people are going to come to see us play. And then otherwise, I mean, it's been sort of surprising. So we played our second show was a pig roast on a farm in Sac Center. That was like for a fundraiser for a nonprofit. And we played.
Old Factory coming out.
We're playing Old Factory on Saturday, so it's sort of wherever people will have us, we'll play.
Yeah. Do you find there's an appetite for your live music?
Oh yeah. We have a good friend named Dave Kramer who invented ruralism as a political platform, and I know there's this sign up there that says political discussions are not permitted on the air. This is not that. He just wants people to know that that. What does he say? That
He wants to advocate.
he wants to advocate and celebrate
the rural lifestyle.
the rural lifestyle. And so that's part of what this is like when you live in a small town, you don't have a lot of options. And so so we make art too, right? It doesn't all happen in the cities, in big cities. So we want to be a part of that. We want to make good things, and this is our effort anyway.
How do you think that influences your art to be ruralist?
Yeah, well, so one thing we talk about is our musical taste overlap not a lot. We talk about it as a Venn diagram sometimes. We drew 5 circles, like the point in the middle where our musical taste overlap is very small, and that requires us to work with each other and to listen to other people's input and ideas, and I think that really helps make for a full and interesting experience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think bringing together different perspectives is usually fruitful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you can work out. If you have the same goal, you want to work to make art together. That's generally how you make better art. It pushes you beyond what you would make yourself. Right?
Yeah.
So what are the influences, different influences in the band, and the different styles of music you guys like?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Titus the drummer loves Dream Theater, but he also loves Earth, Wind, and Fire. So I don't know.
And don't forget about Bossa Nova.
He
What he really wants
loves
to do is be a Bossa Nova drummer.
We have a long Facebook message feed that is just the 5 of us exchanging ideas, and there was a long part about Bossa Novas the other day. Titus was sharing with us his favorite Bossa Novas. And I told him, I write the songs, and I said, I don't think that's going to happen for you. But anyway, I don't know. Lots of different stuff. We listen to a lot of different stuff.
That's great. Well, we're glad to be listening to you here. We're here as part of our fall funds drive. We're trying to raise money to keep our public radio station going. A big part of our public radio station mission is to serve this community and to find artists here and to promote them, to give them a platform and show everybody else what's happening and what we can be excited about and the culture that's developing and the identity that we have. If you think that's important, please help us continue on that mission. The number is 276-3690, 1-800-251-3690. You can also pledge on our website, KWIT.org, or on our app. Just press the little pledge button up on the top right. It's pretty simple. So Steve, Mar, you do a lot of what we do up in Orange City with your coffee shop. You bring in a lot of conversations and different perspectives to you give a platform for them in your community. And Allie was just up there. Our arts reporter was just up there recording on a community conversation we had recently, and it was so interesting. So tell me about how, what inspires you to do these.
Sure. Yeah, I think I resonate a lot with what Luke just shared about ruralism. I think probably a lot of why Laramie has the Fruited Plain in Sioux Center, and what motivates us at the Old Factory is that we're rooted in the community that we exist in, and we want people to stay and engage with one another and bring their talents together. And so we want the space of the Old Factory to be a place where we have space to explore ideas, that we don't have to be afraid of things, that we can discuss and engage things that don't make sense to us. And so this current community conversation that we're doing is called Islam and Our Muslim Neighbor. I was talking to Bandy on our way up here, and I think most of us, but maybe I shouldn't speak for all of us, but I think oftentimes in Northwest Iowa we don't have a lot of interactions with Muslims, but the media that we are exposed to is full of stories about Islam in America and what we should think and what we should be afraid of. And it seems interesting that we engage those fears and ideas without ever meeting or talking to people who are Muslim and follow Islam. So we set up a series of conversations in hope of addressing those fears and addressing them with information and space for understanding. And it's been really great to invite people in to be vulnerable and share their faith and teach us about what it means to them to be Muslim. And I think we've had a really nice attendance, about 30, 40 people. So
that's terrific. And I feel, whenever I see what you're doing, I feel like we're often working in the same direction as we want to bring fact-based information to the world. And that's what NPR is doing with Morning Edition and All Things Considered and the other news shows that we carry. And that's also what we're doing with our own volunteers, like Ode, or the other programs like The Moth, or This American Life, where we're listening to the stories of people that we otherwise would just hear about as facts that would be put together for a different type of story, or that would be overlooked. We wouldn't hear their personal story, and we love hearing people's personal stories in public radio. We think that's the way forward. That's the way to understand our neighbors and to understand our culture, and to find creative solutions to our problems that involve everybody and take everybody's perspective seriously. If you think that's important to a conversation, you should visit the Old Factory, but you should also call us at 276-3690 or 1-800-251-3690. We are live in Studio A this evening. Normally you'd be hearing World Cafe, which is a terrific music program that brings in a lot of contemporary artists. New up-and-coming bands are on there, but you can also hear some of the bands that you maybe grew up loving, that you loved back in the day. I said this earlier, I don't know why this keeps coming to me. Tom Petty was recently on. Other musicians like that have been around for a long time, and they're plugging away at some of the great music that often still featured. I always look forward to play a lot of Talking Heads, which is one of my favorites. And I always look forward to hearing that. If that's the type of music you love hearing, you can't hear that music. Northwest Iowa, where they're bringing a lot of music to the scene. And I'm so excited. The first song was great. If you're going to play another one?
You bet. It's called Evergreen.
All right. That's Evergreen, right? Evergreen.
Evergreen. Yeah.
Evergreen by the Ruralists. We're live in Studio A doing our fall fundraiser. It's 276-3690 or 1-800-251-3690. Call and support your local public radio station. We are an independent public radio station that covers Northwest Iowa. This is the community we are here to serve, and we're so glad the Ruralists are here representing a chunk of our listening area that is probably underserved generally by the media. I don't know if there are a lot of people coming out there and asking you guys to play or perform, but we are certainly pleased to have this as part of our mission. And I have Steve Marr here and Bendy Langton here, who's running the boarding here. We have Ali Carson running the board in the control room. It's a complicated web of electrons moving around here. It's so far so good. It's sounding good. Thank you.
Should fire your engineer, aka me.
Danny is in big trouble. But
No soup for you.
it's difficult. You have a difficult job. But just listening to all the live old factory broadcasts that we've had so far, the difference in who you guys have out there presents. It's always a new challenge for engineering. I think with Maxilla Blue having to produce or engineer a hip hop trio, right?
It was a duo,
The
actually.
duo as
Yeah.
compared to a singer-songwriter. It's very different.
Yeah, and especially since, a big thing for hip hop is, particularly for like Aspate, was, wanting to really interact with the crowd and run around. And so that just presented its own challenges in making sure that things are balanced just right so it doesn't. I'm being told to move faders. But yeah, interesting challenge when he wants to run around and get into areas where normally you don't have to, and so when you want to push it and make it loud in your small room, it just presents fun challenges.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think, and Steve just gets to enjoy the music.
Yeah.
He's got the good side.
That's why you delegate.
He's managing the situation. Yes. And dancing as you are here, enjoying music.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of dancing, it's radio, so you wouldn't know this, but Mark was actually dancing around erratically, throwing rockets into the air during that last summer.
I don't hold back. It's been a long day already. One day of fundraising down.
The cardigan came off.
The cardigan came off.
It was wild.
It's getting real.
Mark, I want to say that you brought up Ode, and we listen to Siouxland Public Media every morning in the shop, and we love listening to segments of the Ode every week. It's one of my favorite parts of public radio that comes on during the week, and like you said, we try to do similar things in similar ways between the shop and what you're doing here at KWIT, and we love that. We wholeheartedly agree. We love how you partnered with us in the Live at the Old Factory, and the programs that you try to bring to this area. I think localized is more meaningful, has more impact, and we value what is going on here a lot.
Thanks. Well, we're very excited about the direction we're going. Ode is a program, I think, that is indicative of the direction we're trying to take the station. More very local stories, stories that are deeply felt and meaningful, and that tell our listeners the diversity within our communities, the diversity of experience, the diversity of philosophy, but also it reveals that we can all come together and live interesting, very lives in this community, and we love that. We love that we can do that, and hopefully that grows and grows. In November, for those that haven't heard yet, we're going to have the next Ode event at the Sioux City Arts Center, and we're partnering with the Mary Trailer Community House for a night of stories under the title Stories Without Borders, featuring primarily women, refugees, and immigrants, and their stories about how they arrived in Sioux City. And a lot of them, they're very emotional. And it's going to be a great night. It's going to be some intense moments of listening and hearing about people's lives. But it's also going to be really fun to see funny things happening. And there's going to be food, which is, well, you can't go wrong if there's food that you're gonna like it. So and that's going to be prepared by some of the women from the Marriage Ready House as well. So it's going to be primarily Ethiopian. So again, that's happening Friday, November 18th at 7 o'clock p.m. at the Sioux City Arts Center. If this is the kind of thing that you're into, if you want to hear the stories of your neighbors, of your community members, then public radio is your bag. And we need your support. We really need it. We're not just here for fun. This is how we go. It's 276-3690. 1-800-251-3690. I could throw back to the ruralists who are, I don't know, as you're milling about.
We're here and we're pledging as well. So if you guys take
Pledging as well?
cash or
Oh, we do take cash.
Awesome.
Like I say, we take cash, we take credit card. We do anything.
You should make a shout out to all of our ruralist fans.
all the ruralist fans listening. Need
Tell them to call in right
need to
now.
call in.
Mostly our wives, but you know.
That's good that your wives are fans.
It is good that our wives are fans. Yeah.
That's an accomplishment. So,
All right. This is called My Father's Favorite Hymn.
What's the name of that song again?
That song is called "My Father's Favorite Hymn."
Your father's favorite hymn.
Yeah, I'm an English professor. I have a book of short stories called the Northwoods Hymnal that came out a couple years ago, and it has 10 stories and 10 songs, and that comes out of a story about a man disinterring his father and moving the body from Michigan back to Minnesota. So, if you're interested,
Huh.
I like
So
books.
it's almost as I lay dying after.
There you go. Yeah, after As I Lay Dying.
Yeah.
Sure. Anyway,
That sounds great.
thanks.
That's good. Do you get a lot of inspiration from literature that you read?
Yeah, I mean, I kind of only work in at the crossroads of fiction and songwriting. So
Okay.
I've been working on a novel for a few years that has music attached to it, and I sort of don't know how to write songs without thinking about larger narratives anymore. So,
What does that mean? You put with music attached to it?
well, the novel is a book about a band, and so I write songs about a fictional band that a fictional band might write. I construct them so that I know what this fake band might sound like, and then these guys help me play some of them, which is
So you
great.
bring them to life. You actually.
Yeah.
How do they sound?
Well, the first one, Black and Achromatic, that's one from the book. So, I mean, I feel like they sound pretty good.
Do they? Is it a style of music that you didn't know you had in you when you began writing?
That's a good question. I don't really know. I mean, I sort of live by write what you know, and I don't know much, so I just stick to the 7 chords that I know or whatever. So.
Are the rest of you writers as well? Are you the main songwriter?
Yeah, I'm the main songwriter.
So, and do you? I mean, when you perform the songs, do you feel like it's a band separate from the Royalists, or do you feel like the Royalists are becoming that band?
Oh man,
That's the
not
right
ready for
question,
this
isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, in my head, they're different. It sort of feels pretentious to be like, hey, you should like my band because it's a famous fake band in my brain, right? So I try to keep them separated.
Yeah.
But truth can be stranger than fiction.
Truth can be stranger than fiction, right? I mean, the 5 of us playing together is super weird